Good morning, everybody. I'm the Executive Chairman of Empress Royalty. We are a royalty and streaming company purely dedicated to precious metals. That's gold and silver. Usual forward-looking statements. So we are a high-growth company focused purely on investing in precious metals companies and getting a royalty or a stream in return. The upfront capital that we invest goes directly into the mining companies. So we're directly investing to make them a better mining company, expanding, developing their assets, and in return we get income from them for that. At the moment we have 4 key assets, and I'll discuss those shortly. And those assets are all performing. So we have record growth. We doubled our income last year, and we're hoping to do it this year. That's the forward statement you saw earlier. The management and board have years of experience, as you can see looking at me, and the team I'll talk about later as well, are all experienced financiers in that marketplace. The key focus for us, as I say, is gold and silver. Our main direction when we set the company up 6 years ago was precious metals. So when you look at gold at 5,100, 200, 300, every day it goes up, and silver now over $100, maybe 110 as I'm speaking. We were geniuses getting into that space. But the main reason we got into precious metals was because we were a believer in the value of those metals, store of wealth, a great value creation for our business. Quickly, just on royalty and streams, outperform gold, outperform the miners. So great investment. If you don't have it in your portfolio, it should be in your portfolio. Royalty and streams, very simple, as I mentioned. We invest in companies, they can give us a percentage of their revenue or percentage of their metal. We create streams, a little bit different to some of the other guys in the marketplace. I say we're active investors. We invest in the companies and we get a return from those companies. We don't buy third-party royalties. Talked about the management. The one beauty of a streaming company is that as you're investing, you have a small management structure, you have a small team. Unlike the miners that may employ thousands of people, hundreds of people, we have a very small team so we can keep our G&A low, which is obviously the key in any business, is to have a low cost base. One difference you'll see in our business compared to other streaming royalty companies, firstly, is our global focus. We've been in the business for 130 years when you add up all the expertise of the team, probably plus in the age of experience. We've been around the world. We know mining on a global basis. So we look to invest on a global basis because we know the countries well that we're looking to invest in. So a bit different to some of the other companies that just talk about tier 1 type investments. The other big difference is our ticket size, our investment size. We're sub $25 million. And the reason for that is that all the other guys, when you look at them, the Wheatons, the Francos, they're looking at hundreds of millions, big ticket sizes to make a difference to their balance sheet. We saw an opportunity for the small sector, the small size. Limited competition means better return for the company and our shareholders. And as I mentioned, we've got producing assets at the moment, we've got a strong management team, and a key focus to us is ESG. Without ESG and making sure that's done correctly by our investment companies, you cannot get your social license wrong in this business. You've got to have good ESG focus. 4 assets. First one is Tahueto in Mexico, Luca Mining, and they're in the booth on the right. We have the silver stream from their Tahueto mine. We invested $5 million, and we're getting about $11 million a year coming in from that asset. So not a bad return, as you can see. That's partly due to gold and silver prices, in this case silver price adding that value, but also the fact that Tahueto now is in full production, and the last results I saw, they're actually meeting above budget on that aspect, so very good performance for us. Serentipita in Peru, we invested $10 million, and we're getting $6 million a year. Mozambique, we did $3 million investment, and we are getting revenue of around, I think it's not actually 6 million, it's a bit less than that, coming from Manica in Mozambique. And then our latest investment was in South Africa, the Galaxy mine. That's an AIM-listed company, and they're in ramp-up mode at the moment. So that's still developing and ramping up in our business. Key thing for us as a business is really a strategic approach to how we do it. We're investing the company's money in mines to generate our income. We are very structured in how we approach the investment. We do a lot of due diligence, technical, legal, proper legal binding agreements with these companies for our investments. So we are disciplined in what we do. We're all big shareholders in the management and the board in this business, so we have very much a structured approach and disciplined approach to how we invest the money to maximize our return, but also keep the shareholders' money safe. This is one of my favorite slides. The key aspect when we set up the business was really driving revenue into the company. Any business, when you set up, needs to cover its costs, become profitable, get cash flow. The key thing for cash flow is you can reinvest it. So when we set the business up, we drove our business to invest in producing or very near-term producing assets. The key to drive cash flow. And as you can see, September this year, we were $10 million in revenue. Obviously, this year we also had the benefit of higher gold price, silver prices. So hopefully look out for our results when they come out. For the year, we'll hopefully be significantly higher than that in our projections. And then look at 26. A big increase, not just due to metal prices, but two of our assets, which is the South African asset, is ramping up. So that adds a benefit. And our Peruvian asset is also having a little bit of extra grade coming out of that mine, hopefully in the next year. So that improves our performance. So for what is a company, we only set up six to 7 years ago, we're now looking at significant income coming from this business. Two things, when you look at the metrics, we are lowly valued compared to our peers. And I know lots of companies show that, but in this case, it is really the fact. We have huge cash flow coming out of the business, and as we deliver every quarter and show the market every quarter, we start to get the benefit of people investing, buying the shares, and seeing the value we're creating as a business. One aspect I talked about really is the investment we have in our business. So we have, as management board, with our strategic investors, the likes of VRIC Rule, Stephen Gleason, who's one of the largest US bullion financiers, but also storage aspect. Big shareholders we've got into the business. They're paid to be shareholders of the business, including Sprott Asset Management, US Global as well, all big shareholders of us. So we're very proud of our shareholder base, people supporting us as long-term shareholders in that business. At the moment, our market capitalization is around 100 million US. And if I go back to the previous slide, if you look at where our market cap is versus our cash flow, you saw the earlier slide, we're talking about 10 million, then we're talking about 20 million, et cetera, et cetera. If you look at what the price per cash flow is for some of the other people in the marketplace, other competitors in the marketplace, we're significantly undervalued when you look at our future cash flow coming to the business, which should give us this huge re-rating and improvement in our share price as the market sees those results coming through. One of the aspects we've been fortunate, and I mentioned obviously the cash flow generation, is that we are at the moment being able to fill our treasury. So our treasury, as you see, was 8.2 million. Obviously that's last reported. We are gaining cash flow and producing money every month as it comes through. So we have a significant amount of money now to reinvest in other assets, drive more streams and royalties into our business to drive that revenue number and drive our business and growth forward. In addition to that, we have a $20 million debt facility which we can draw upon. So we have significant firepower now in our business to drive forward our growth plans, and 26, 27 and onwards is growing this business to drive our revenue, drive our growth and develop this company. So reinforcing the key things for our business. Growth, driving our investment, utilizing our cash, maybe the debt facility to grow our business. Strategically employing that in quality assets so we can have long-term value growth within our business. And as I've mentioned, cash flow, we really are a cash flow driven business. We're looking to generate revenue, generate cash flow and reinvest it. And that's the key aspect of our business. One aspect you'll see And just to reconfirm, we are experts in this place. The management, the team, the support from Endeavour Financial, one of the big shareholders, which the company I manage, is driving expertise, driving the skill sets of understanding mining companies, picking the right ones to invest in that are going to return long-term value for the company. And that's what we do on our track record of the 4 assets. You can see, if you come to our booth, we can explain further how much value they've added to our business, and that's our expertise. And that's why this company is doing very successful cash flow generation and is going to drive forward as a company. Just finally, we have a booth. We're quite near the entrance. I think we're 3 away from when you come into the auditorium and the conference, so please come and visit us. Happy to answer any questions you have at the booth. Thank you very much.